Hello everyone. Welcome back to the podcast, The Road to Making Bank, episode 18. Hope you're all going well. Luka, how are you, mate?
Doing very well on this beautiful rainy Melbourne day in summer. It's very, very fun to be out sailing today.
Did you say it was raining?
Yeah, it's been raining all day.
Spewing.
Yeah. How are you going?
Classic Melbourne. Yeah, good man. Good. Yeah. Kind of got a bit done this week. Focusing on the content website now. I had a good Stoke session last night at the Cigar Lounge. Had a Casa Turrent Maduro. Very nice, very nice. A Mexican cigar with the lads. I have a one cigar a week rule, but I might go tonight also. Yeah, how's your day?
Nice. Yeah, I been doing stogs at the park lately.
Sick. What have you been smoking?
Just the little cigarellos. I can't even remember what brand they are. I can't remember what they are.
Do you get them from Alexander's?
Yeah, got them from Alexander's. Alexander's are actually doing a 12 days of Christmas deal at the moment. Every day for 12 days. New deal.
Like a sale. Like a different special on every day.
Yeah. So it's been pretty cool to check out.
That's cool. It's like those, what do you call them? Those advent calendars? When you open a little, is that what they're called?
Yeah.
Advent, yeah. I remember being excited about them when I was a kid, but I never really, maybe got one once or twice or something. But they had like lollies in them, yeah? Right?
Yeah, you get them.
Chocolate.
It was like a little chocolate in each one. Good times. Good times.
Cool, man. You're right. So you had a cigar today, was it? Or?
No cigars today. Not in the rain. Just out sailing today.
Yeah.
Sailing, getting soaked. Yeah. Got to remember to put a couple of extra layers on, just in case. You never know. Still haven't learnt.
Rains, yeah.
Still haven't learnt.
You didn't bring a poncho?
No, I mean, like I had full sailing gear on, but I didn't wear the jacket as I was walking to the boat, so I was getting wet, and then I put the jacket on. So, number one rule of sailing: stay dry.
Put the jacket on first. Yeah, because I guess so you were soaked for the whole time. That would have been uncomfortable, yeah.
I wasn't soaked, but I was wet. And then when it's windy as well, and I didn't have a jumper on, I just had the like waterproof jacket on. The wind still gets in underneath the jacket, so it's still cold. Yeah. Number one rule of sailing is have fun. And then the second rule is stay dry and make sure that you stay warm, because once you get cold, that's the end. So,
Yep.
always.
That just reminds me. Yep, sorry.
Yeah, no, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just saying that reminds me of always wearing Cons All Stars, and it gets to a point where water gets in through the soles, and just walking around with wet socks, and it's. That's happened more in my life than I'd like to admit.
Fashion knows no pain.
But the thing, those Cons All Stars, they're not watertight, but they still look good, so I can't throw them away. And I shugu them up, but yeah, I can't do it. Cool. Anyway, let's get into it. Bit of housekeeping first. Just want to remind everyone that we have chapter markers and timestamps now. So if you're in Apple Podcasts, just scroll down. You can skip to the chapter which interests you the most. And on YouTube and Rumble, there is timestamps. YouTube, they have them embedded into the video. So, cool. All right, so macro musings, cultural and political factors that influence our lives. Had a couple of points here. Gold, the precious, the yellow metal, has hit new all-time highs, Luka. Are you excited?
I'm very excited.
About that?
I mean, we obviously spoke about this last week. It's gone up again. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, so last week it was an all-time monthly close. I think we were talking about that. I wasn't sure, but yeah, it was a monthly close. This time it's an intraday high. So I think that means like
the highest
like
it's risen in a day.
Yeah, or like at the close of the day or during the day, or I'm not sure how it works, but yeah, it definitely hit an all-time high of $2,143 US. I'll just read a little blurb from BullionStar.com. As the gold market opened at 6 p.m. New York time on Sunday, 3rd December, 11 p.m. London time, blah, blah, blah. This price surge began to take shape a mere 15 minutes after opening, with the gold price blasting up by $70 from $2,073 to $2,143 in a little over 20 minutes. That's a 3.38% surge in the gold price in a mere 20 minutes, shattering all resistance levels in a flash and breaking through the psychologically important $2,100 level. So yeah, it smashed through, but then it got smashed down again. So it's back down. I'll just look it up quickly. And the question is how it got smashed down. Was it just people taking profits, or was there a coordinated effort to smash it down again? Because generally speaking, it's not in the central bank's interests for the gold price to go up. So it's very, very interesting. So yeah, so we hit 2,143 or whatever, and now it's 2004. So that's pretty cool. At the end of the week, it closed above 2,000, which the previous support level was like below 2,000. So that is generally good news for precious metals investors. So we'll see how that plays out in the future. I think Bitcoin had a run as well. It hit over 40,000. I'll have a quick look. And let's see, silver got smashed down a lot. It hit $25.49 US, and now it is 23. So in Australian dollars, which is what some of us might be more interested in, smashed down a lot. So it hit 38.30, smashed down to 35. So that is quite a big drop, and we'll leave it up to the audience to figure out why there was such a smash down. Was it people taking profits or not? Yeah, Bitcoin is currently 43,817 US. So I think it was at 38 a little while ago. So it's a big run, yeah.
Yeah, well, do you think it had anything to do with the next topic on the list?
Yeah, quite possibly, because I guess, yeah, it's in the government's interest and the central bank's interests in the short term anyway to keep the US dollar strong, and pretty much, generally speaking, gold is like the safety and the insurance. So they don't want cash flowing out of the stock market into gold. And yeah, and of course, you know, all these big banks like JP Morgan and all that, they have bullion trading desks, and they've gotten fined millions, I think even billions in the past for rigging the market, spoofing they call it. It's like coordinated selling, and you know, it's another thing that, you know, they just pay a smaller fine than they make off the deals, and they're allowed to trade, you know, instead of shutting them down or whatever. But that's a whole another can of worms we can get into. I guess there's a free market argument there as well.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's in lots of things. I mean, I see that in tree workers and arborists.
Yeah.
Developers will just cut down trees and then cop the fine from the council because they're subdividing. They get to subdivide a property now that the trees are gone, and you know,
they
can
pay the fine.
Yeah, they pay the fines. And no big deal to them.
No shit, hey. Yeah. Well, it makes sense, I guess. It makes sense. But yeah, cool. But we won't get into that, I think.
No.
Cool. So yeah, it's another can of worms, I guess. Yeah, another headline is the UAE has stopped trading oil in US dollars. So that is pretty big. You know, you look at the BRICS countries and all that, and there just seems to be a slow but sure shift from trading in US dollars, whether it be in their own local currencies. But this is an article from December 4th. The headline is, "It's official, United Arab Emirates stops using the US dollar for oil trades." This is newstarget.com. Yeah, it's happened. It's officially stopped trading. Yeah, along with Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Ethiopia, Iran, UAE, BRICS nations, Brazil, Russia. Yeah, they're transitioned to local currencies. So, you know, generally speaking, it means less demand for US dollars. And yeah, it's when that happens, you know, people could start bailing out of the US Treasury market, selling their bonds, and that could lead to a cascading effect, I guess.
Well, like, is fiat currency, like the definition of fiat currency is that it's based around the US dollar?
No, it's fiat currency is any currency that doesn't is not tied to anything. Like, it doesn't have any intrinsic value, and it can just be like printed. So I'm pretty sure every currency in the world now is defined as a fiat currency.
Okay.
So it just works on a supply and demand relationship, like the currency markets. It's literally all just supply and demand. But you know, yep.
Is it the Australian dollar tied to the US dollar in any way?
Nah.
Or US
I think
currency?
the Australian dollar used to be tied to the pound many years ago, maybe around, could have been before 1930. I did a little bit of reading on that, actually. But I don't think any currencies are pegged to other currencies at the moment. Maybe some South American countries. Maybe like Venezuela or something's pegged to the US dollar, or maybe they just use US dollars directly. But I think that's the vibe. Yeah, so all currencies are fiat currencies at the moment. But, you know, there's a lot of talk about, you know, shit could go bad and countries returning to a gold standard. I know someone from high up in the Dutch government has openly said that. They've been is it the Dutch central bank or is it the Dutch government? I'm not sure. Have been promoting gold as that they said they're holding gold in order to, if something does go bad with the currencies, in order to restore faith in the currency by directly backing with gold again. So many central banks are buying, like this last year has been like huge central bank gold buying. I think the most ever. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure. And China has been buying heaps, Russia. So it's, for central banks, it's a safety mechanism in case shit goes bad, but they won't tell anyone about it. They won't advertise it. It's they want to keep it on the DL, pretty much.
So just keep buying gold and silver.
Yes, if you want some insurance, I would I would look into it. So yeah, cool. All right. Observations relating to entrepreneurship. Had a quote of the day from I'm doing a course by Matt Gray at the moment, a systems guy, and at the end of one of his guides, he put this quote in there, and it's kind of fitting. Growing up, I was a big basketball fan. I could say it was my first love. And so this quote is from Michael Jordan. It says, I've missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I've lost almost 300 games. 26 times I've been trusted to take the game-winning shot and missed. I've failed over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeeded. MJ. So I thought it was cool. Pretty pretty general message, but just means you got to keep picking yourself up and you learn from your mistakes. It's it's somewhat cliche, but it is it's true, I guess. Work for MJ. What do you reckon about that one, Luka?
Yeah, I guess it just goes to show you that there's something, well, I'm not sure what it is, I guess, like, I don't know if he had the best scores necessarily. He probably did, like most points scored or whatnot. And I guess just goes to show that it doesn't matter how many failures or, losses or failed attempts you have, like, you can still come out the best player in the world. Or, one of the best players ever known, or the greatest in a sport, and still have that many losses. Missed more than 9,000 shots. So, I mean, he's had a long career as well, so I don't know what the percentage of that is. But yeah, when you just look at the numbers in terms of where he's made a mistake or where he's failed, I guess it says more to his ability to get up and keep going than anything else. And I guess goes back to what Hormozy talks about, is if you can't lose if you never give up. You only lose right. You only lose when you give up. So as long as you keep going, there's always a chance to improve or win.
That's right. I think that's the message here for sure. And he got cut from his high school basketball team. Michael MJ did, North Carolina, I think. And he became the GOAT. And he wasn't the best mid-range shooter as well when he first started. So he just like slogged at it, worked at it, and just eventually became like, one of the greatest scorers, and won the most, actually not the most, but 6 championships. It's pretty good. and he smokes six cigars a day, which we were talking about last night. So don't feel bad if you're smoking a cigar a day. Although MJ's kind of earned it. So
yeah, was this at the end of his career or during his career or at the start?
That was like currently or like a few years ago in the Cigar Aficionado interview. He mentioned that. I don't know, he wouldn't have been smoking 6 a day when he was playing, but apparently he did when he was playing, maybe like after the game or on the way to the game. He definitely was smoking them after he won the championship. So, yeah, thought that was pretty interesting. Moving on. Google has brought out their own version of Chat GPT. Yeah. You want to talk about that, Luka?
Yeah, so I was talking to my other friend, also named Luka, and he mentioned that, Google brought out their own version of Chat GPT called Bard. Apparently, he described it as if Chat GPT was a kid going to kindergarten, Bard would be someone who's just graduated college or university. So, yeah, apparently there's a huge leap between the two. I don't know much about it at all. But yeah, I think he said that Chat GPT knows everything up until 2021. And Bard has a 6-day lag, which means it knows it's relevant up till anything up until 6 days ago. So it's 6 days behind being in live time with what's happening.
That's like self-updating. Yeah, right. Very interesting.
Yeah. So I haven't looked into that at all. So that's just what I've been told. But yeah, it sounds pretty interesting, especially for people who want to keep up to date with what's going on and want to create something and stay relevant. So yeah, it should be interesting to see the AI competition grow over the next couple of years.
Yeah.
And I reckon Elon Musk will probably be benefiting from it more than most. To be hooking that into his Starlink or his Neuralink or whatever it is.
Yeah, well, he might bring out his own, I guess. Wouldn't surprise me. Probably might have already done it. Yeah, I don't know. Would Elon... Huh?
Might be a collaboration happening at some point.
Yeah. I don't know. I can't see Elon wanting to rely on Google too much for anything, since Google are kind of known for censorship and everything. They could, cut him off pretty quick. Yeah, it'll be interesting. Yeah, uses for AI in the future. I know I might have a look at Mid-Journey. You got to pay for it, but yeah, the images are so cool that they come up with. I think it uses Chat GPT to create these images. So, but yeah, if anyone's interested, just go to the Mid-Journey website, and it has a like a demo, like a portfolio sort of page. And there's some really cool stuff, and it's all AI generated images. So I might actually use that for my website. But yeah, what other applications are there? I mean, there's, marketing. You can produce sales copy, stuff like that. Am I missing something? Is there anything more? Oh, Luka, you got to remember about the mouse clicking.
Sorry, I get fidgety.
Yeah, sit on your hands, Luka.
I literally am doing that now.
Cool.
I have an issue with clicking the mouse, so I'm going to try and do less of that.
it's a pain in the ass in editing. So drop a comment if Luka's mouse clicking annoys you. Yeah, can you think of any other AI applications? I mean, I'm sure there's heaps, but
you got chatbots, which people are using for a good way to source people's details. There's I think it's Matt Leitz. He's created I think it's called Bot Builder, and it's just an automated chatbot. You can give it a personality. As soon as people come onto your site, you know, the chatbot pops up. And instead of, it's actually a pretty good idea what they've done. Instead of asking for people's full name, email address, phone number, they've already sourced the information, and it just instead of asking for people to fill it in, it just pops up with an email address which is theirs and a phone number which is theirs, and it says, if this is your correct number, just click on the phone number, or if this is your correct email address, click on the email address. So it's removing a friction point of them having to fill it in, and it's already pre-filled, it's auto-filled for them, and all they have to do is just click once to say yes, and if it's not, then they have the option to change it or type it in.
Yeah.
So it removes one more friction point, and apparently they've had quite a success in getting a higher amount of leads, sign-ups, yeah, from doing that. I think it was, I don't remember the figures, but I think it was around like a 70% increase.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, that's cool. It's a good application for like simple stuff, form sign-ups, and yeah, I'm not really a fan of general customer service ones. I don't know about you, but like every time I use like a help desk thing or support pages or a chatbot, it's pretty much like 98% of the time it's something that there won't be an answer to. Have you ever experienced that? Like every time I go to a help section of a site, it's like search something and it's like not there. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I think
yeah.
It depends on the people, yeah. I mean, if you're someone who does a fair bit of research and is pretty good with finding information, then generally you're only going to ask a question when you haven't been able to find it. But some people, you know, might use it as a shortcut to finding information as well. So instead of like going through the website and searching all the tabs and seeing where to find stuff, they might just straight away use the chatbot as a way of finding things, which might be a quicker way. So, you know, perhaps as a customer, we're not adapted to using the chatbot, whereas other people might be using it and might be having a more efficient experience by using it, even just to do the more simpler things.
Strategically or something, yeah.
Well, yeah, not super consciously in terms of, hey, I'll use the chatbot because it's going to be quicker or efficient, but just the chatbot's there, and maybe people, you know, the younger kids who are using, you know, sort of more familiar with chatbots might just use it straight away as like a search engine, more so than someone like myself who might try and click through all the tabs on a website trying to find what I'm looking for.
Yeah, different sort of people, I guess. Yeah, people that maybe are averse to talking to people directly as well. Maybe they.
Yeah, I guess another comment that they made in the webinar that I listened to was a lot of people make the mistake of when they create a chatbot, they try and make it seem as if there's someone live on the back end talking to the customer, whereas they have gone with the model of making it very obvious that it's a chatbot rather than trying to make it seem as a human.
Yeah, that's a bad move, I think. You're trying to make it seem like a human.
Yeah, and I think because it's just very obvious that it's not a real person, so the customer automatically feels like you're treating them like an idiot. Whereas if you make it obvious that it's a chatbot, then people just know that it's a chatbot. Like even the name, like people give it just a person's name, like, "Hi, this is Jess," or "This is Ryan. How can I help you?" Whereas they say, "Hey, my name's Susie Chatbot," or something like that. You know, like they just give it a very obvious name so that you know it's a chatbot, and then people are more inclined to use it, according to them.
Yeah, I've noticed that on some sites that would just straight up say, "I'm the chatbot," or whatever, yeah, instead of saying, "Can I help you with something?" and like, yeah, not outlining it. So yeah, it will definitely be continued use in the future, AI chatbots.
Yeah. But I mean,
sure, you know, there's
in medicine as well. Like I did some tree work for a guy. We were working at his house, and he basically just goes in and sells cataract operating machines. So people that have cataracts in their eyes, he goes and sells the machines and teaches people how to use the machines. And he's like, all he does is sell the machines to people, teaches them how to use it, and then if something goes wrong, they just go and fix it. But apart from that, all they have to do is update the software to make sure it can keep operating. So that's, I guess, a form of AI where it's just the program just doing the work, and the robots
automatic updates. Yeah,
the robots doing the work. Yeah, and I guess that's probably going to become more and more common in the medical field as well, I would say, with robots operating and making decisions. So I guess that's probably a big space to look out for as well with AI.
Yeah. I think software development as well. So I think AI can write basic code now, you know, and like just pretty much just save heaps of labor. I'm pretty sure. I don't know much about that space, but yeah.
Yeah, neither do I, but yeah, I suppose using AI to create software for AI is going to be pretty common as well, you would guess.
Yeah, I think it'll be used as a time saver, you know, like writing basic code or whatever. So
yeah, which is another Ty Lopez was mentioning. I was watching a little clip of him saying that, you know, in the near future, a lot of people, you know, AI is going to be at the forefront of everything. Money is not going to be worth anything, and is pretty much the only thing left once a lot of jobs are automated. The only thing that's going to be left are personal brands. So people creating personal branding, and that's what's going to be of value in the future.
Really?
Yeah, and it was like the first trillionaire will be someone that has a personal brand attached to AI, however that may look. But he's like, it's not going to be
interesting take.
Yeah, he's like, it's not going to be a company or an organization. It's going to be like a personal brand.
Yeah, is that because he thinks labor will disappear pretty much?
Well, labor will disappear.
A lot of robots.
But he was saying that
generally
personal brands connect with people more so than an organization does. And I guess a great example was, I was having a conversation with friends the other week. We were talking about how, you know, you look at a people, it might be a political person, maybe a president or a prime minister, and it's very easy to give them shit because it's a face of the organization. It's someone that you can personally relate to, because you see them and they're a representative and they're a human being, and you can do that. Whereas if it's just an organization, it's very hard to point the finger at anyone because you don't know who's in charge because it's just an organization. And so the same with saying that I don't relate to an organization as much as I relate to an individual. So in that case, you'd say probably a personal brand is more relatable than an organization. If you trust someone and you relate to someone, you might be more inclined to buy from them because you believe in their cause, or you believe in what they stand for, or you believe in their mission, or you believe that they're being honest to you. So I guess it's that.
Makes sense, man. Those bloody faceless corporations, hey?
Yeah. I guess on the flip side, though, if you've got a personal brand that's huge around the world, and you do anything wrong, the whole world will come for you. So there's that as well.
Well, that could allow you to niche down as well, couldn't it? Just cut out.
Well, yeah, I mean,
clear out the dead weight.
You got like the Donald Trumps and the Andrew Tates of the world, who people are very much on one side or the other of the coin. Probably more so than anyone sitting on the fence, I would say.
And the more like censorship or cancellation, whatever, the more the fandom increases, I guess. It's generally the way it works. Yeah, well, fandom increases for their fan base. So,
yeah, man. I think the whole thing about branding is that there's enough. Like, if you get 1% of 7 billion people, it's a lot of people.
Exactly. Yeah.
So you don't.
It goes back to that quote we mentioned. Hey, solve a problem for a billion people, and you make $1 billion. Charge them $1.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the point is that there's enough people out there that you don't need the whole world to love you. You can just have the people that you relate to, and that's still probably going to be enough to
and
connect.
It's probably going to work out better because if you're not being yourself, if you're not being honest, people will smell a rat, and then in the short term it might maintain some followers, but it's not really a long game, is it? I mean, yeah, that's the way I sort of see it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you'll burn yourself out eventually if you're trying to be someone you're not.
Yeah, trying to please everyone. So, and and you're not being yourself. People will sense that. So, who gives a fuck? Just do your thing. You do you. Yeah. So, yep. So we will keep an eye out on AI developments, and it's going to be very interesting in this ever-changing world that we live in. So, yeah, cool. All right, biz talk, Luka. Business talk. I have a niche suggestion for you. I'm going to run it by you. I think I've probably suggested about 5 to 10 businesses for you. I'm going to keep going
until I
keep
pick
going
one.
Until you settle on one.
Okay, I like it.
Making fitness health plans for fitness/health plans and service for arborists. So you could, cater for not doing arborist work, but you could help arborists because you understand them, you know them, you are one. Yes, you understand what it takes because from what I see, there's quite a lot of injuries in arborist work, and it's pretty dangerous in some aspects. So you could help the young kids getting into it preserve and protect their bodies, because there seems to be a bit of wear and tear that other industries don't have. So what do you think?
I like it.
You can shut it down if you want. I'm just throwing it out there.
It's certainly very niche. Yeah, I think I do like it. I just have no idea how I'd go about it.
Like, is there something guys could do, like techniques, warm up, stretching, and all that they can do to protect ripping their shoulders and shit like that? Like, do you have that?
A lot of the things that a lot of exercises that I think are beneficial, I've found from the knees over toes program. I've talked about it a bit on this podcast.
Yeah, we did.
And I realized that a lot of the exercises that are from that program are actually in tree work anyway. For example, one of the foundational exercises in the program, knees over toes program, or the ATG program, is walking backwards with a sled. That's like one of the fundamental exercises. And I realized that I could have been doing that this whole time. Like when you're dragging a branch from the tree to the chipper, if you hold it and then walk backwards to the chipper, that's the exercise. You've got the resistance, which is the branch, and you can do the exercise by walking backwards.
Yeah, I can feel that. I can feel that tension in my back doing that now.
And if you do the exercise correctly, then that will help you. The difference being that, you don't necessarily see what's behind you, which you just take a look and make sure that everything's clear. There's a lot more tripping hazards on a work site than there is in a gym, arguably. So I guess there is that to be mindful of. But, you're dragging branches, you're lifting logs. There's exercises in the ATG program to help you with elbows, like tennis elbow and whatnot, which you could also modify to be able to do it while you're at work. And maybe you do it, it'd probably conscious at the start. It'd have to be completely conscious at the start because it's not something that you do every day. But you could definitely incorporate it into your daily work rather than doing it extra before or after work at the gym. And that's
okay, cool. So, so maybe you could have a few of these exercises, and would guys going in to the industry, do they get taught this when they go in, or do they, would they know this stuff?
I think the most that it would go into is just basic manual handling.
Bend your knees and all that.
I don't even know if they do that in the TAFE course. I'm not sure if they do manual handling in the TAFE course. I think because there's so many variables, like sometimes you're lifting logs, sometimes you're carrying branches, sometimes I guess it's just so many different situations. You're never picking up the same size piece of wood or the same size log. Like if you cut up a tree, the tree's never the same, has the same thickness or girth to it. It's always one side's wider and then it tapers down to a skinnier side. So, and every time someone cuts that tree into rounds, it's never going to be an equally spaced apart because it's not being measured, it's just being cut. So you never really, and if someone cuts something on an angle, then the block isn't perfectly round. It's kind of misshapen. So yeah, I guess it's about teaching the techniques. The gym's good because it can teach you the techniques, and then you can use those techniques out on a job site and incorporate those exercises on the job site. But I think, so I think using the gym to create habits for people so that then they can make sure that those habits are being enforced on a job site, rather than do the exercises correctly at the gym and then go to work and just lift things as you would without thinking about it.
Yeah, preventative.
Yeah. Yeah.
That'd be the goal. And could, like, I guess this is kind of that. Like, is there specific areas of the body that arborists could strengthen to avoid injuries?
Yeah, I'd say
abdominals, chest, or pecs.
Yeah, there's a lot of I think tree work as opposed to rock climbing. I'm not much of a rock climber, but apparently rock climbing is more about the legs doing all the work, and then you've got kind of your fingers. I understand it uses the whole body, but predominantly I believe it's the legs doing most of the work, whereas tree work, I would argue it's probably the upper body doing most of the work.
Arms and pecs, and shoulders. So if you were going to prioritize strengthening one area, you might do upper body, right?
I would say lower body.
If you had to.
I would say strengthening sort of. Well, I mean, your entire body needs to be strengthened. It needs to be. But needs to be done correctly.
If someone only had the time, to do one area, what would be number one priority?
I would say,
what's the most common muscle tear or whatever?
I would say elbows are probably a big one for people.
Elbow breaks?
No, like that kind of tendonitis or tennis elbow, golfer's elbow or whatever it's called. That kind of thing. That's probably the most common that I would see.
Okay. So do you reckon... Okay, cool. Yeah, any more?
I'd say back, elbows, like wrists, and maybe for me it was knees, and ankles. Yeah, mine's probably more the lower body, I would say, and the core, back and core, and forearms, everything. Yeah,
but you kind of just work down, don't you? The most common, and just work down.
Yeah, I think the common, elbows and injury. Probably the back. It's hard to say because a lot of the injuries that guys have come from incidents rather than some of the wear and tear. I'd say it's elbows, but otherwise, you get a lot of incidents. Guys like slamming into the trunks of trees, or a branch snapping and they go for a massive swing, or they slip or fall and break their backs or hurt their backs. So it's
external environment sort of thing.
Yeah, I think there's so many ways to get injured.
Okay, cool. So now let's talk about a business angle, because we could keep talking about that. But all right, so what I'm envisioning for you now is, do you think you could create slides that can have some recommendations? You got 4 bullet points, visual document. One is areas of the body, first slide, to strengthen, prioritize. So you have chest, back, and then on the next slide, it's the most common injuries. And then the next slide, how to strengthen. And then you record yourself on your computer talking. You have a little circle with your face. And you can switch in between views of yourself and the slides. You do a bunch of these videos. Maybe you do one on health, like nutrition, specifically for arborists. You have this as a mini course, and then you have a higher paid service where you have all this, you give them this information to them, but you can work with a personal trainer. You You can have a consult. You have personal trainers that you work with that you can hook these people up with, or a consultation or something like that. How's that sound?
All right. So create a course, and then
I just thought of that on the spot. Well, the course I kind of thought of before, but yeah.
All right. So create a course and then offer further assistance in whichever area they need, whether it's nutrition, workouts, or health guidance, and point them, hook them up
you could have
with the right person.
Yeah. You could have, it depends on like, you could have one, you could do this as a free kind of lead magnet thing, or you could have like a mini paid course for like $10 or something. And then you could have a bigger service where it's really tailored or something. And you could also give high level tips on like chainsaw use or something, or like, yeah, I don't know. I think it could be cool. But it's, I think it's good to think about these exercise, like go a bit deeper.
Yeah, I like it.
I
think my fear is just not being the right person to do it. Like
but you could learn it though.
I could.
So you could just learn it. Like even if you don't know yourself, you just do the research and then you present it. But you don't have to know everything, I think. Like you don't have to have like I'm kind of quoting a video I watched the other day actually, but it's like, you don't have to have like a level 10 Michael Jordan arborist understanding. You could just have like a level 4 understanding of, and it can help people because they're at a level 0, but you don't need to be at a level 10. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, I guess it's also just a fear of making sure that you're not not teaching someone a bad habit as well.
Yeah.
That they pick up. Because if you share some information with someone and you're not there to make sure that they're doing it correctly, they might be doing it wrong, and then they say, "Oh, Luka told me to do this."
Yeah, that's where you put a big fat disclaimer at the start of your course. And you're like, do not take this, this is just general advice or whatever.
Yeah,
but
I suppose.
Obviously you don't want people to do the wrong thing, but like, yeah, you're not going to purposely give them bad information. But
yeah, but then there's also like questions, and people ask me questions about exercises and stuff. Like I'm not a personal trainer, and I don't really know much about the body.
That's why I said you could. That's why I said you could hook up with a personal trainer and offer like a you both could get on a call with someone and like.
Okay. Well, yeah, I could certainly
or talk to the personal trainer and record a video and offer that video as part of the course.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep. I like doing that. That sounds good. I have hit up the ATG program a couple of times to see, but I think there's a couple of people on Instagram that have pretty much like are indeed the Knees Over Toes program, and I think the Knees Over Toes program is happy for people to do that if they're certified trainers, because you can do like a trainer course that makes you a certified trainer to teach their techniques. I'm not sure if you have to have like a personal trainer qualification to be certified or not. But yeah, I suppose I could certainly give people tips on the exercises that I was doing.
Yeah, I think it's doable, and like the more I learn about this sort of business, the more I can think of, put a plan out in my head, but keep it in mind, man. Like,
I guess my fear is just teaching people not the right thing. I just want to make sure that I'm doing the right thing as As
I guess you could talk to other people for advice, do a bit of research, and I guess it doesn't have to be perfect, but it doesn't need. It just does. It needs to be not damaging. That's all. Like, it needs to just help people at least a little bit in a positive way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How
you feeling about that idea?
I like the idea. I like the idea for sure.
Digging it?
Yeah.
Nice. I'm digging it too, because that means you can be location independent, which I'm all about.
Love it. I love location independence.
Nice. Well, you want to get to Japan, brother. Be making that bank. Yeah, because after you buy that house, you're gonna need some money.
It's true.
Do it up. Cool. All right, we'll put that on Shernon's ideas for Luka list.
Have you got an actual list going?
Probably my best. That's my best idea I've had for you so far, I think.
Okay.
So
I like it.
We'll just start with that one, and we'll forget about the other ones. I've had a bunch, like ideas, man, and all that shit. So, all right, but
how much are you going to charge me for all of these ideas, Shernon?
It's free, man.
Free?
I'm in the business of helping people now.
That's it. That's the best business to be in.
I'm learning, man, and it's all about helping people. So it's a karma thing as well. So yeah, just put it out there. Yeah. All right. Let's move on. You actually have another business idea that you want to talk about a bit later, but this ties into my next topic, which is it's part of a course I'm doing. It was a direction to write out a niche commitment statement, so it's what I've done, which is actually quite a bit harder than what I thought it was going to be. I went through about 10 iterations or whatever. But generally speaking, I want to do a international strategy content website, and kind of infuse it with another element. Maybe I won't talk about it yet, until I've kind of launched it. But actually, wait, I'll be revealing it anyway. So anyway, the commitment statement is: I will help freedom-oriented people that are hungry for a community to increase their knowledge relating to wealth preservation, aesthetics, and location-independent entrepreneurship, so they can live a more free, secure, and aesthetically enriched life. So,
love it.
Yeah, I think it's really, I found it really good to do these exercises, because it's not really a natural thing for people to do when they're thinking about starting a business. So it's definitely, not something that comes naturally to everyone, not really to me. So I found it valuable to do these sort of write out, how you're going to help people, what result you want to give them. And it really aligns the the goal in your mind, and every time you think about it from now on, it's almost, you think about it in a different way. So yeah, it's
what do you mean?
Well, we tried that. Yep.
What do you mean by aesthetics? An aesthetically enriched life.
Yeah, what I mean by aesthetics is it's just, I think the general definition is, like the study of beauty, and in philosophy anyway. So, but when you apply it practically, it just means, doing things, surrounding yourself with things that appeal to you aesthetically. So and creating that environment for yourself, instead of and making the effort to do that. So instead of being around an environment that doesn't appeal to you, and how that can sort of increase your quality of life, I guess. So it'd be relating to, it could be fashion. It could be, well, probably not, I won't focus on it, you know, design, interior design, but like for me, I guess it'll be cigars, books, guitars, maybe fashion and a bit of art and design. Yeah. And I guess kind of, yeah, helping people kind of, if they're not like naturally inclined towards, you know, developing a style and taste or whatever, like maybe, I don't know. I guess throughout my life, I've been able to like have a clear sense of style and what I think is aesthetically appealing to myself. So I thought, you know, I might try and incorporate that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I like that. I've always enjoyed your style. It certainly has always suited you. So yeah, I can vouch for you.
Okay. Oh wow. Oh, that's good to hear. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like everyone's, you know, have your own style, and I guess I want to incorporate that into the whole location independent entrepreneurship, wealth preservation, and incorporate that with aesthetics as well. So that's the idea.
Well, maybe I can give you an idea, which was an idea that I had for myself, which was
go for it.
How to be a creep was going to be what I was going to call it. And it was going to be
how to be a creep.
Yeah, and it was going to be a I guess a course on how to dress in context.
In context?
Yeah, I think a lot of, especially guys, I think a lot of guys get it wrong. I think guys get called creepy, and I think a lot of what creepy means when women say that guy's a creep is that I think the guy kind of doesn't get it. And what I mean by that is if you're going on a hike, like imagine going on a hike with someone and they turn up and they're wearing like a suit, like a 3-piece suit. You know what I mean? It'd be like, this person doesn't
like
quite
read the room.
Yeah, exactly. It's like this person doesn't quite get it. And that's kind of like off-putting, I think. So I guess the course was going to be kind of like, look at the context that you're going into and dress accordingly, behave accordingly, that kind of thing.
Specifically relating to fashion and dress.
I think, yeah, that would be like the basis of it would just be dress.
Yeah. I don't know if a dude rocking up to a hike with a suit would be creepy. It might be just funny and a bit strange, but I wouldn't say it's creepy.
Imagine if you were going on a date with a girl and you said, "Hey, let's go for a hike," and she turned up in like a outfit that she would wear to a wedding.
Yeah, okay.
How would you see
and
that?
if they were totally oblivious to it, yeah.
Yeah, and
I'm sort of thinking like if they did it in a funny way, but yeah.
No, it's not in a funny way. I'm talking like genuinely just unaware of what their surroundings and what they're doing. Or they're aware, like they're wearing it because they want to wear it, but they're not really gelling with the situation or not reading the room, as you would say.
Yeah.
Because I think some people are at that level. Or some people, like you said, just don't take into consideration the aesthetics. They don't take into consideration, it's like, I can wear this anywhere I go. perfect example, Alex Hormozy. He just wears a singlet and shorts everywhere he goes, which is fine. But it's just
he can take your course, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. He can be the first client. But do you know what I mean? It's that kind of exact example. Now, he's aware, he's self-aware, so he knows what he's doing. But some people are doing that and aren't aware.
Mm. Yeah, okay.
And I think people who might be struggling with that thing, or even just not really know how to dress or how to dress themselves or what style suits them. Because they've never really like experimented. I know for me, I've experimented my whole life with different fashion trends. So I kind of figured out what does work for me and what doesn't. But some people may have not spent any time doing that. And it might make a difference for them socially.
Yeah, some people actually might not think like, might actually be a problem for people. Like they think, oh fuck, what do I wear? What do I buy?
Yeah. And I mean, like, this is something that you and I might take for granted, but other people might genuinely have anxiety over thinking about this kind of thing.
Cool. You could hook up with a fashion expert, or
I don't think I would. I think I'd just do it myself, to be honest.
Do it yourself?
Yeah, I think I'd be pretty comfortable with that kind of thing.
Cool.
Because I could use myself as an example, and it's quite... I think there's less... Like there's less, it's not really like something where you're advising someone about their personal health, where there's health risks involved. This is just
adding your story to it.
Well,
that'll probably be the most appealing because they'll be relating to you.
Yeah, and I think there's just less risk involved. Like there's not really any personal harm that can come from it.
Yeah.
Or where someone's putting themselves in danger for any reason. They shouldn't be anyway.
That'd be cool. You could really emphasize your story, and that could, grab people's attention.
But yeah, anyway.
Yeah, is this like a legitimate idea, or you just...
Yeah, no, it's a legit idea. Because I'm like... You,
put it on the list.
Yeah, put it on the list.
That list is getting pretty big, Luka. Nah, just keep adding to it, man, and brainstorm it.
We should get an actual list going. The business idea list.
In the base camp, in the project management.
I might go through...
For this podcast.
Could I go through every episode to find all the business ideas that we've come up with so far?
Yeah, we've probably... Oh, I don't know if I put it in the show notes. I'd probably... Oh, no, I might have, yeah. But maybe not the specific idea every time.
Maybe
I'll put a fair few in.
Maybe that could be my... holiday homework.
Go through all the ideas and brainstorm.
Write them all down. See which ones have legs.
Or at least just... Yeah, you could pick the best ideas from some of them, pick bits of one, add it to the other. Fun, Luka, fun.
I love it.
Cool. All right, so we'll move on from niche selection and niche commitment statements into course progress. So Luke is in the Great and Powerful Sansoni course. You've been doing live Q&As.
Yeah, so there's he's got something called the deal room, which is where people, it's a 90-minute session. People who are doing the course bring their deals into the table or into the meeting and get some advice on what they should do, or what they, if there's anything that they should be aware of or mindful of, anything that looks a little bit sus, or, where can they improve on the deal. So yeah, it's been really helpful to sit in, for someone like me who doesn't have their own business, listening to other people doing deals and what they're going through has been really eye-opening. And yeah, as I was saying to you, you learn just as much from being around your peers and learning from your peers as you do, actually attending courses and listening into the information, because they're presenting information, but I think it's almost more inspirational when someone who you do the course with has a win, because then it just gives you that little bit more belief in the process, and allows you to trust in the process a little bit more and sort of give into it and be more willing to give it a genuine try. For the people who might be less convinced.
You're in the team, man. You're in the team. It's like when in 93 when, MJ was hitting threes and Scottie Pippen was, they're on the same team. He's getting pumped that MJ's hitting threes. So Scottie Pippen steps up to the plate, land some threes, and now they win the championship. But anyway, I digress. Keep going.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, it was just. I think that was just a big, sort of thing, a big point of realization. Creating communities where people can all learn from each other, and then also having people at different levels. Like there's people in there that have multiple businesses and, in the multiple millions. People, there was one girl or lady who did a deal for, I think it was over $2 million, no money up front. So yeah, it's pretty clearly shows you that it can work, and it does work.
She bought a $2 million business.
Bought a $2 million business and paid no money up front.
Nice. Very nice.
So yeah, and I guess it's really just looking at, I guess once you wrap your head around how all this works, it's really just thinking about which businesses align with what you want to achieve, what you want to do, where you want to go, and what you want to have attached to your name or your personal brand, or if you want to remain anonymous and just have the businesses there, you can do that.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'll jump in there. I actually had a maybe my first in that sort of style. Yeah, I had a it's called Office Hours as part of the Miles Beckler course I'm doing. So it was like a Q&A thing similar to what you're talking about. And it was really cool to hear about people's problems and their direction and what they're doing. So yeah, I learned a lot. So it's a cool process. Yeah. There was a lot of questions. I didn't get around to asking one, but actually I didn't watch the end of it. But yeah. So do you have many more of them to do?
I had one today. Yesterday. Had one session on Thursday, one yesterday as well.
Cool. Is that going on for a while?
And another one on Monday. Because you can.
Oh, nice. Well, can you pitch him some ideas? Have you? Well, you pitched your bookstore idea, didn't you?
Pitched the bookstore idea last week.
You gonna pitch another one?
It was a no-go. So I guess
pitching my my fitness course for Arborists idea.
Well, yeah, I mean his is more about buying businesses, so not necessarily starting businesses. Unless I was looking to buy a fitness business and then turn that into the niche.
Yeah, or make up a hypothetical. Actually, no, you can't make it up because the numbers won't be real.
Yeah,
but.
Well, I mean, look, his thing isn't necessarily. Yeah, I mean, he does look at the industry and what's in and what's out, but yeah, I think to make something up from scratch is going to take just as long as it would be to find a real deal and just do it that way.
Don't lie to Sones. Don't lie to Sones.
He'll know.
Okay. Cool, man. And you finished your 6-week mind program with Mike Knowles, yeah?
Yeah.
Tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, so Mike Knowles, he has it's called Build Your Incredible. So it's Build Your Incredible, and then whatever it is that you would like to build. And within, I think as a separate program, or I'm not sure if it's within that or separately, but he's created a mind program which went for 6 weeks. So yeah, each week was a different topic. And the first one was about how the brain works. One was about critical thinking and risks. Goal setting was the last one that we did this week. And yeah, so basically just going through learning different things about ourselves, how we behave, what patterns are we in, are they helping us, are they not? And yeah, I found it pretty surreal in terms of how relevant it was and how quickly I was putting what I'd learnt in the course into use. Like literally, we'd learn about something, and it's either I could think about something that happened that week, or the next day or the day after, I was like, oh, I can use this in this situation. So yeah, it was super helpful.
Practical stuff
that you can use. And yeah, it certainly gave me a different perspective going into this kind of business stuff. And even personal life, family, friends, love, just gives me another perspective, which has been really helpful. So yeah, shout out to Mike and everyone that was part of the group. Yeah, it was really helpful once again to be in a group setting, learning from peers as well. And that was a big part of it, was sharing with the people.
Is that in
class.
person, sorry?
Yeah, it was in person. So it's 6 weeks, 1 day a week in person, and then there was a follow-up session. So it was one every Wednesday for 6 weeks, and then every Sunday we had a catch-up call on Zoom, where everyone got together and just to catch up on the tasks that we were given to do for the week. So yeah, if anyone's looking to improve or just get a better understanding or new perspective on where they're at in their life or what they want to sort of move towards, and what might be holding them back, I think you could definitely benefit from Mike's program. At the moment, It is in person, so I guess it's if you're in Melbourne at the moment. Yeah, definitely have a look at that.
Cool. So it's like a general kind of mindset, psychology kind of thing, I guess. Not specifically geared towards business, or.
Yeah, I mean, there was one topic. It was about money and money management and whatnot. Once again, a lot of these things, I think, though, anything, whether it's business or personal life or, whatever the case may be, health, relationships, most of it is about your own mindset. And if you don't have the right frame of mind, then even good opportunities are going to seem like bad opportunities, or, they may not seem like opportunities at all. You might see them as something negative rather than a positive. I think having the right mindset certainly helps.
Oh, so you recommend it?
Yes, would recommend.
Oh, well, you already have, yeah. Cool. So check it out, anyone in Melbourne. It reminds me of just doing more meditation as well. I enjoy it and I find it really helpful when I do it. So got to get back on that horse.
We can leave a link. I'll find a link for his program as well. If we want to chuck it up.
Cool. Yeah, we'll do that. Awesome. Moving on, I wanted to talk about the Japanese concept of Ikigai. So maybe this could be helpful to both of us, Luka. Have you heard of it before?
I have heard this word before, yes, but I don't know what it means.
Cool. Well, I figure we could go through it live and kind of learn about it and learn with anyone listening. Yeah, and since you're going to Japan, this could be cool. You're all about Japan at the moment.
Frothing Japan, yeah.
Frothing. All right, so the concept of Ikigai, so this is from positivepsychology.com. The concept of Ikigai is said to have evolved from the basic health and wellness principles of traditional Japanese medicine. The medical tradition holds physical well-being is affected by one's mental, emotional health, and sense of purpose in life. So actually, I'll go up first just to the meaning of the word. So Ikigai, Ikigai, or maybe it's pronounced Ikigai, is a Japanese concept that combines the term iki, meaning alive or life, and gai, meaning benefit or worth. When combined, these terms mean which gives your life worth, meaning, or purpose. Pretty important, I guess. Japanese psychologist Michiko Kamano has said that Ikigai is a state of well-being that arises from devotion to activities one enjoys, which also brings a sense of fulfillment. Michiko further distinguishes Ikigai from transitory pleasure brackets hedonia in the ancient Greek sense, so being hedonistic, I guess, and aligns it with eudaimonia, the ancient Greek sense of a life well lived, leading to the highest and most lasting form of happiness. Ikigai also resonates with cognitive behavioral therapies. Cognitive behavioral therapies emphasis on pursuing activities that produce enjoyance and a sense of mastery, specifically as a way to alleviate depressive disorder. Ken Mogi, a neuroscientist and author of Awakening Your Ikigai, says that Ikigai is an ancient and familiar concept for the Japanese, which can be translated simply as a reason to get up in the morning, or more poetically, waking up to joy. Ikigai also appears related to the concept of flow, as described in the work of Hungarian-American psychologist Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi. Jesus, that's the hardest word I've seen in a while. Hardest name. Can you try say that, Luka? Have you got the document up?
Csikszentmihalyi.
Oh, it's because of your bloody Eastern
I don't think that's right either.
Roots.
She's yeah.
Csikszentmihalyi. For Csikszentmihalyi, flow occurs when you are in your zone, as they say of high-performing athletes. So getting in your zone, your flow state. Flow is a string of best moments or moments when we are at our best. These best moments usually occur when a person's body or mind is stretched to its limit in a voluntary effort to accomplish something difficult and worthwhile. Flow can be said to occur when you're consistently doing something you love and that you're good at, with the possible added benefit of bringing value to others' lives. In such case, flow might be seen as in tune with your Ikigai, or activities that give you life meaning and purpose. Okay, so it's generally, doing stuff, meaning and purpose. But I think the practical application is doing this Venn diagram, which is the Ikigai diagram of philosophical perspective. You have 4 circles. The top one in a clockwise direction is you love it. So, and the one on the right describes it as the world needs it. At 6 o'clock, you are paid for it. On the left at 9 o'clock says you are great at it. And then there's each side of it, there's intersecting sections, and there's 4 intersecting area in the middle where everything meets. So yeah, could be worth a try. Maybe we can do this. Maybe you think it'd be a cool exercise, Luka?
Yeah. It's hard to find what that combo is, though. I mean, I'd be Soanes does a similar thing when he's looking at businesses, and he calls it the bank zone. So that's something similar.
Bank zone.
But it's good. I think it's good to identify what the other overlapping areas would be called. Like, for example, you love it, blends, crosses over with the world needs it, right?
Yeah.
And then, so you've got that shaded area. What would that be called? And then you've got, you love it, the world needs it, you are paid for it. So you might not be great at it, but there's still that's a smaller area that's shaded as well. So what if you had 3 out of the 4? What would that be called? Ikigai is like the ultimate, where you've combined all 4 of them. But
the thing in the middle, yeah.
Like, so, can you live in one of these other shaded areas temporarily and work towards the Ikigai?
Probably. I guess there'd be no reason for the other shaded areas then, would there? If it wasn't part of the process.
Yeah, I mean, you would just remove all of those circles and just say, find something that you love, the world needs, that you can get paid for, and that you can be great at. You could just summarize that. I think it'd be just as important to identify what those other shaded areas are called and see if they don't have a name, can we find a value to them so that people can work towards those as smallest milestones to get to that Ikigai.
Yeah, that sounds like the plan. That sounds good to me.
Maybe we can leave this in there for people to look at. Yeah,
I'll leave a link to this. It's a very well presented article, and it's got the diagram there, the Ikigai. So yeah, maybe I'll get around to it this week. Maybe we can give it a shot. But yeah, generally after doing this, writing some stuff out like this in terms of the business I want to do and like a kind of business plan, I guess, I found it really beneficial. So I think this, it's pretty similar to, like when we ask who do you want to help, it's pretty much the world, that circle, the world needs it. But yeah, you've got 4 elements there, so a little different, but yeah, cool, man. All right, we'll put this on the list, hey, Luka?
Absolutely.
On the to-do list. Cool. Maybe you can write it in your moleskin that I gave you that you haven't used yet. Have you used it yet?
I did.
Just write it now. Do it live, Luka.
Okay, I'll do it now. I did write something in there the other.
Draw those 4 circles. I just want the circles, man. You don't need to write it in it. Just draw the circles. Oh, you did write it. Oh, there you go. Well, you've started.
That's the logo, Shernon. Do you like the logo? I mean, it's a very rough sketch, but it kind of looks like awesome, a dollar bill, like me and you, and like the S is a curve. I don't know if that was obvious or not. I don't know if
I dig it, man. Luke is showing us a nice stickman logo with the Road to Making Bank in biro pen. So now he's got a second page that he can add to his TRTMB journal notebook. I like it, Luka. I knew that it'd come in handy, that notebook. So
absolutely.
All right, man. Let's move on. I just wanted to mention just a handy note for anyone that is starting a sort of content website business, a blog, YouTube channel, or whatever. That when you're making enough money, the things that you need for your business can be tax deductible in a way that you might not have thought of. So, if you do a course review business and you're making money through affiliate links, I guess courses are tax deductible, right? So And you know, if you're doing a travel blog, travel expenses, you're doing a photography blog, photography gear that you're reviewing, it's actually really cool to know. Of course, you have to make some money first for that to matter, but something to keep in mind.
This is what I was always curious about. If you started a business and you were making no money, but you had heaps of expenses.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I think, yeah. Because I think how it works is these get added to your... Yeah, actually, I was in the same position as you. It took me ages to understand this, but it just gets added to your accessible income, I think, these expenses. No, wait. No, it gets taken off your accessible income. So then you get taxed on what you make after that. Does that make sense? This is just general tax.
Yeah, but like, let's say if I started up a business, took out a business loan, I suppose you probably wouldn't get a loan if you don't have any money coming in.
Oh, you could. Could still get a loan, but is that what you were thinking? Like how the
No, I was just thinking take out a business loan. And then
is that like interest could be an expense, yeah?
Yeah, I don't know. Probably need to do.
Anyway, we're definitely not tax experts here, but
need to do that.
I think the way it generally works is, say if you run a course review site and you buy courses, that that'll get the cost of those courses can get taken off your accessible income, and that just means you're getting taxed on a lower amount. I think that's the same how it works with anyone, any employee or business. So nothing new there, but it's just something to keep in mind, because you know people are usually deducting like work boots and shit. Well, that's what I've been used to. So you might not think of these things when you're going into a new business. So. Cool.
Yeah, very good call.
All right. Accountability. Well, businesses as well, I guess, Luka. So you're looking at possibly a purchase. Yacht companies, yeah?
Looking at yacht companies. Yeah. I was thinking of I was looking at if there were any yacht companies like charter boats for sale. Turns out there are a couple. There's one in Melbourne that I was looking at, and one in the Whitsundays. So we're going to try been in touch with the agents. Sones says, do not deal with agents.
Yeah, okay.
I guess because they
go direct.
Yeah, try and deal directly with vendors if you can. So I probably have to find out what the go is.
You could get a lawyer or something to help you.
Yeah, I think
possibly.
It's I guess following the GPS, the deal GPS that Aaron has created. You wouldn't necessarily get a lawyer in until it's, right at the end when you're looking at genuinely making the deal. At this point, just looking at getting in touch with them, having a conversation with the vendors or the sellers, finding out a little bit more about them and what their motivations are and what they're looking for, what they want from the future, just to see how you can create the best deal for both parties. So yeah, it's really
possibly maybe an accountant would be more helpful than a lawyer at that point.
Well, yeah, as I said, at this stage, not even. It's really only once you're like, there's no point spending money on a deal that you might not even consider. Like, this is just the initial conversation. and there's pretty basic numbers that you can run on your own. This is why a bookkeeping course or a basic course where you learn to read P&Ls or profit and loss documents are helpful, so that you don't have to get an accountant for something like that, because it's that skill is going to help you, especially if you're looking at buying businesses in the future or buying multiple businesses. It's something that you'll need to know anyway, so knowing it at the beginning will be helpful, so that you don't have to keep paying for someone else to do it. Especially, like I said, you might get in contact with these people. It might sound all good, and then you send them some more information, and then it doesn't turn out so good, and you've already paid $200 or more to see an accountant that's just read out the numbers for you, basically. I think
so you want to be able to screen it yourself, ideally.
Yeah, and
that's cool.
You can go most of the way through the process without needing any legal advice or accounting advice, because you haven't made any commitments. Neither party has made any commitments. You're really just researching and getting information about what's going on.
For sure. Awesome, man. Yeah. So tell us a bit about the businesses. Sounds cool. Yacht companies.
Yeah, I can't say too much because I guess there's an NDA. So I guess basically they're just chartering businesses. But yeah, organizing a first meet, so an initial conversation with the vendors. Hopefully I can do that for Monday if the agents get back to me in time.
Can you explain? Awesome. Can you explain chartering for everyone? So
chartering, So I guess chartering is if you want to hire a yacht for the day or for a few hours. It might be you might have some friends and you want to go out on the water for a few hours to celebrate a birthday, or maybe you want to propose to someone, that special someone, you want to do it out on the water. Or if you get a nice yacht, get out on the water, surprise them with a ring in the sunset, some champagne, some oysters, whatever your style may be. You might just do it for a bit of a
smoke a stogie on the deck.
Yeah, you want to celebrate a win with some mates.
Get on that loose white shirt, button-up shirt, and get a scarf around your neck and a stogie.
Maybe you just want to have a new experience. See if sailing might be something that interests you.
That floats your boat.
Whatever floats your boat, mate. Have a go.
No pun intended.
Someone might just be looking for a bit of adventure. Who knows? Or you might have a couple, like a little work party or something if you're a small group of people. And then the one in the Whitsundays is more of a travel one. So I think people traveling and wanting to go snorkeling and scuba diving, do some fishing or hiking and whatnot. So it's more of an adventure kind of style setup.
Cool, man. And sounds cool. Sounds like the boats could be expensive, but I'm guessing you're going to go for a no money down deal, right?
Ideally, yeah.
Or is it
but I guess it really, like I said, it really depends on why the vendors are selling. Like what motivates them, what are they looking to do in the future? And yeah, a lot of the time people think that this kind of deal is trying to rip people off, but it actually turns out that people are happy to do these deals because it actually benefits them in a lot of ways. And the basic example I give to people is like if you wanted to buy a business for $1 million and the person wanted $1 million cash, they'd be paying, 200-300 grand in capital gains, potentially. Whereas if you paid them over a certain period of time, they'd be paying less in tax and actually accumulating more money over that period. So rather than getting it all up front and wiping your hands clear, and then you lose X 100,000, you can, if you don't need that much money immediately, or if you don't need the money immediately at all, then why not get paid over a period of time, or create some sort of deal where you get or maximize the money that you take away from the deal.
Yep, that's the whole part of the first course you did, wasn't it? Just the no money down deal.
And yeah, like I said, there was a lady who bought a business for $2 million, no money down. So, you know,
awesome.
No one is really growing a business to $2 million and then making a shit deal. Like, they've obviously gotten to 2 million. You know, they're not getting there by accident. My point is, they're not growing a business to $2 million by accident, that they're going to make a silly decision where they're going to give someone a business for no money. Like, obviously there's a deal behind it that is in their benefit. But initially it sounds fake, or, you know, not true, or there's something dodgy, because that's all you hear. You just hear, I bought a business for $2 million and I didn't pay a single dollar for it. I'm like, oh, that's a scam. It's like, yeah, it sounds like that, but if you don't know how it works, then of course it doesn't sound legit. Yeah.
With the mechanics of that, say this lady bought a $2 million business, hypothetically, and we don't want to talk about the deal specifically, but say all right, now you pay who you bought it off a percentage of revenue or profit or whatever for the next 10 years or something. What if your business goes under? Are you gonna what if you go bankrupt, or you decide to give it up? Is there like an exit strategy where you just give them back the money, give them money, or
well, is
there an exit strategy there?
It depends on the arrangement that you have with the seller.
But generally speaking, what would the idea be there?
I guess it would,
like, what?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, there's so many ways that you could structure a deal that there's no real way to answer that in a single.
Yeah, because if I was to sell a business like that, I'd want a I guess, I don't know, depends.
Like what
you'd want a per month payment or whatever off revenue, but if shit went bad and you stopped getting that revenue, you'd want a payout or something.
Yeah, and you might have that as a deal.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess there's risk on both sides, because that's like saying, well, Shernon, what if I buy your business for $1 million and I give you $1 million and then the next day the business goes bankrupt? You know, there's no guarantee for me as the person buying the business. So I guess there's risk on both sides to some extent. But the management of the business is that, depending on how you have the deal structured, you would be paid over a period of time or in sort of segments. Might be based on performance. So if the business is doing exceptionally well, you might get paid a little bit more in that period, or you know, you might have it set out over a period of time. So
yeah, I guess you just want to make sure that you're not going to get in too much trouble if something goes bad. Yeah,
well, I guess you're looking at buying businesses that are profitable. So this isn't about buying some business that is struggling. But
say it's profitable, but say you meet, you know, this girl in South America, and you decide, you know what, I'm gonna go to South America and quit my business and live with this girl. I'm not saying it's likely, but if it happens, is there like, what do you? I guess you could sell it on to someone else or whatever. Anyway, that's
Yeah, I mean, look, if you're like, all right, I'm going to South America, I just want to pack my bags and I want to leave and I never want to come back to Australia. I want to sell my business and I never want to have to think about it ever again. And I want all my money now because I plan on spending it on a big house over there and I want to live life large, and I've got a business that I can buy over there that's going to set me up so that I never have to work again. So yeah, I'm going to need my money up front. Then I'll just say, well, good luck and all the best. I can't do that for you. I hope you find what you're looking for. Sometimes it's not going to work out. Like, it's not like every deal, like you have to have a negotiation, and sometimes people want different things. So it just really depends. Like, it's not a guarantee that someone's going to take your deal. It's a conversation that needs to be had.
There's ways to, sell the business on or whatever, and then keep the original owner on the percentage revenue thing. Anyway, that's another conversation. I just thought I'd dig a bit deeper.
Well, I mean, you might even end up, the owner of the business might end up just working in the business. They might not want to own it anymore. They might not want to deal with the stress, but they still want to be a part of it. Yeah, cool. So who knows?
That makes sense. So if these businesses look good, are you going to take the plunge?
I would like to, yeah.
Yeah?
Well, I mean, yeah, if it looks like a good deal and you can make it work, then I guess there's nothing really
seems to be an opportunity, man,
from doing it. And it's something that I genuinely like. I love the water.
Like boats, yeah.
I like yachts particularly, like sailing yachts particularly, because I think they're connected to the tradition of sailing, and I guess I guess
you still got to deal with sales and shit.
Yeah, there's a connection to the old world, I suppose, and the tradition of sailing across the world and exploration and adversity, and not taming nature, but learning to work with nature, and learning that there's no guarantees in life and that you're not always going to be safe, but perseverance and being knowledgeable and disciplined can get you through hard times. And I think sailing also teaches you about preparation and timing. So there's a lot of things outside of the actual skill itself and the activity itself. I think there's a lot of value there in terms of lessons to be learned in life and about yourself. And although you might just be hiring the yacht as, for a party or for an adventure, that's fine. But just the activity itself and sailing itself, I think, is something that could really benefit people in their life as a social activity or as a career. And yeah, just more so sustainable than, I mean, a lot of the yachts have diesel engines for backup, but they're mostly using the power of wind, which is, I think, using the energy that's provided for you is super helpful. And
yeah, nice. Yeah, well, I think people that would hire the boats, they could understand these kind of concepts inherently without having to actually mess with the sales themselves and all that. But if you have employees, it's nice. They'd probably enjoy those these things as well, and enjoy being out on the boat. So it'd be a culture, I guess, on the water, business, work culture.
Yeah, and
it can be influenced by these values. Yeah, so just wondering if you can operate this business in a location-independent manner.
Yeah, so one of the businesses, the owner is removing themselves from the business, would be offering support in the business. The other one is fully managed, so it has all crew, has a marketing team, has a booking management system. So that whole side of it is managed. And the two partners that own the business would be moving out of it entirely. So I guess it would just be making sure that everyone who works there is happy to stay on, or whether new staff members need to be found. And yeah, I guess all the boats for that one have skippers and deckhands and all the rest of it. So that one could be self-managed.
Cool. So quite possibly. I mean, you can always do Zoom calls and shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
At least later on, maybe you need to be there at the start a little bit. But yeah, okay. Cool, man. All right. Well, good luck with that. It sounds pretty fun. Sounds like a cool business. Yeah. Well, what are I guess, you don't want lockdowns, you don't want bad weather, but generally speaking, I don't know, in a recession, sorry, man, I'm just, I'm a risk, I don't want counterparty risk in my life, so I automatically think this, if there's a recession, people are going to keep using yachts. Questions to ask, perhaps?
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely think about this. Risk factors, I guess, yeah. But yeah, we can talk about that after, maybe, we'll keep up to date with your progress on this one.
Yeah.
So, cool. All right. What do we want to achieve in the next week? Myself, I have a website up and running now. I've written an about page. I think I'm going to do a 90-day challenge where I post one blog per day for 90 days. Yeah, I think I should be able to implement this week. And yeah, that's pretty much the goal at this point. How about yourself, Luka?
What do I want to achieve in this next week? I've got a coaching call with my LBDX Life by Design program that I've signed up for with Sones. So yeah, I've got that on Tuesday. So just make sure I've done everything leading up to that. And I guess
cool.
I think
so. It's just like a
just organizing the first
sort of thing.
Yeah, organizing the first meet. So having that initial conversation with both of the vendors will be the priority for this week.
Awesome. That's
and
yeah,
work.
That's a big one, man. Yeah, are you going to be by yourself on the calls? Or are you going to meet in person?
It'll be one might be in person because they're in Melbourne, so they could do that in person. The other one would be likely over Zoom.
Yep, cool. Nice, man. Yeah, I guess, come prepared, questions and all that stuff. I'm sure you'll be prepared for it, yeah?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Got all the information that I need to start off with, so we'll see how it goes.
Awesome. Cool, man. That's cool. Any questions for the audience?
Have you ever bought a business? And if you have, did it go well? Did it go not so well? What would you have done differently? What are you happy that you did do? Anything, any questions or any comments that you might have. What do you wish you knew before you went into it? Where could you have saved time? Where could you have saved money? What do you wish you would have spent more money on? So, yeah.
What do you regret?
And what did you do well?
If you were to buy a business on the end of 2023 going to 2024 and you've bought a business before, what type of business would you buy in this new year? Let us know.
Nice.
Alrighty. Cool. Thanks a lot for listening, everyone. Thanks again, Luka, for hanging out. And we're getting towards episode 20, man. So we're almost there.
Yeah. So I think we were talking about doing the next one in a fortnight.
Yeah, so we're going to try fortnightly now to give me some more time to get all the post-production work done. And we'll see how that goes. In the meantime, look out for the episodes, which I'll get released. We have a couple of episodes now to backlogged. So, yeah, cool. Thanks for listening, everyone, and all the best in your business endeavors.
Cheers. See you, Diggs.
Catch you later.